Good morning, students. Welcome back to our online classes. Book Democratic Politics, textbook in Political Science for class 9. As per this book, I have come to know that the NCERT syllabus of this particular book has been revised, and according to this, we have these 5 chapters for this session for this particular book. According to this, our first chapter is What is Democracy? Why Democracy? I would like to advise you that please consider this video as your first video for the subject social science. Let's begin with the chapter. What is democracy? You have already read about different forms of government. On the basis of your understanding of democracy so far, mentioning a few examples, write down some common features of democratic governments and non-democratic governments. Now here we are going to know many interesting facts about the democracy. The first heading asking is why define democracy? It's a conversation between some students and a teacher over the definition of democracy. The students are having an argue over that if at certain places democracy has been described in a very simple way. For example, if you can see a student naming Ribyang is saying that according to Abraham Lincoln, democracy is government of the people, by the people and for the people. We in Meghalaya always ruled ourselves, that is accepted by everyone. Why do we need to change that? Now, according to these students, they are saying that why we need to define the democracy when in such simple words it has been understood. Again, another way of understanding the democracy has been described. Democracy comes from a Greek word demokratia. In Greek, demos means people and kratia means rule. So democracy is ruled by the people. This is the correct meaning. Where is the need to debate? Now these students have the discussion over which their teacher, her name is Matilda Lindor, she is giving certain examples to satisfy their discussion that why they need to know the definition of democracy. To the discussion, Mary wants to know that why first we are discussing about democracy and then we are asking for the definition of the democracy. To this, ma'am gives a reply that every word does not need a definition. It is only in need when its meaning is not understood or in cases where it has to be distinguished with some other similar words of its type. Now, at the last reply of the teacher, we can see what she want to say. A word does not remain tied to its origin. Here, the teacher want to say that whichever word has come from its origin, it is not assured that it will remain the same. With the passage of time, its meaning also changes because different people use it in a different way. A very common example is just think of computers. Originally, they were used for computing, that is to say, calculating very difficult mathematical sums. These were very powerful calculators, but nowadays, very few people use computers for computing sums. They use it for writing, for designing, for listening to music, and for watching films. Words remain the same, but their meaning can change with time. In that case, it is not very useful to look at the origins of word. Now, to this last reply, Mary says, Ma'am, so basically, what you are saying is that there is no shortcut to our thinking about the matter ourselves. We have to think about its meaning and evolve a definition. That means, whatever word or term about which we want to know, We need to first discuss about it and know its meaning, and then it will become easy for us to evolve a definition for it. Now, moving on to our heading, a simple definition, we can see that one simple factor common to all democracies is the government is chosen by the people. So, thus, we can start with a simple definition stating democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. This is a useful starting point. This definition allows us to separate democracy from forms of government that are clearly not democratic. That means here we can differentiate between the exact democratic governments and the governments which are not democratic. The army rulers of Myanmar were not elected by the people. Those who happened to be in control of the army became the rulers of the country. जो लोग आर्मी के कंट्रोल में थे वो आज कंट्री को रूल कर रहे थे. पीपल हैड नो से इन दिस डिसीजन. इस डिसीजन में पीपल का कोई रोल नहीं था. वेदर दे लाइक इट और नॉट, दे हैव टू एक्सेप्ट इट. Dictators like Pinochet, Chile are not elected by the people. As if you remember in our first video of Two Tales of Democracy, we have read about Pinochet, who overthrew Allende and ruled over Chile, but he was very brutal, for which at a certain point his government was again overthrown and Chile again became a democratic country. This also applies to monarchies. The kings of Saudi Arabia rule not because the people have chosen them to do so, but because they happen to be born into the royal family. Now, if you understand the term monarchy, it is a type of government in which the head is having all the powers to take decisions, and he is there in power for life or the period where he himself gives up and asks somebody else to be on the throne. So till then he is the one to rule, and after him his successors would continue the government. This simple definition is not adequate. यानी ये जो सिंपल डेफिनेशन हमने समझा है ये काफ़ी नहीं है जानने के लिए दैट एग्जैक्टली व्हाट इज़ अ डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट. इट रिमाइंड्स अस दैट डेमोक्रेसी इज़ पीपल्स रूल, बट इफ़ वी यूज़ द डेफिनेशन इन एन अनथिंकिंग मैनर we would end up calling almost every government that holds an election or democracy. अगर हम इस फैक्ट को मान कर चलें कि डेमोक्रेसी इज़ पीपल्स रूल, तो फिर वो सारी गवर्नमेंट्स ही डेमोक्रेटिक हैं जहाँ इलेक्शंस होते हैं, वेदर दे हैव वन रूलिंग पार्टी एन ऑपोजिशन और दे आर हैविंग मेनी मल्टीपल पार्टीज लाइक इंडिया. As we shall find out in chapter 3, every government in contemporary world wants to be called a democracy. To the present world, everybody wants them to be called as a democratic government, even if it is not so. That is why we need to carefully distinguish between a government that is a democracy and one that pretends to be one. Now, this is very important for us to know exactly what the difference is there between a government that is a democracy and one that just pretends to be. We can do so by understanding each word in this definition carefully and spelling out the features of a democratic government. Have a look at the features of democracy. As we read the definition, which states, democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Now, this raises many questions. Have a look at these questions as this chapter deals with justifying these questions and finding answers to them. Who are the rulers in this definition? Which officials must be elected for any government to be called a democracy? which decisions may be taken by non-elected officials in a democracy. इस डेफिनेशन में जिन रूलर्स की बात की जा रही है वो कौन है? किसी भी गवर्नमेंट को डेमोक्रेसी कहलाने के लिए हमें किन ऑफिशियल्स को इलेक्ट करना चाहिए? जो पार्टी दैट इज़ द ऑपोजिशन पार्टी, नॉन इलेक्टेड ऑफिशियल, उनके पास कौन से डिसीजन लेने का पावर होना चाहिए एक डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री में? मूविंग ऑन, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इलेक्शन कंस्टिट्यूट्स अ डेमोक्रेटिक इलेक्शन? What conditions must be fulfilled for an election to be considered democratic? जो भी इलेक्शंस किए जाते हैं उसमें कौन से ऐसे कंडीशंस हैं जो फुलफिल होने के बाद हम उस इलेक्शन को डेमोक्रेटिक कंसिडर कर सकते हैं? Who are the people who can elect the rulers or get elected as rulers? वो कौन से लोग हैं जो इलेक्ट कर सकते हैं और वो कौन से लोग हैं जो इलेक्ट हो सकते हैं? Should this include every citizen on equal basis? Can a democracy deny some citizen this right? क्या कोई डेमोक्रेसी ऐसी भी है जो अपने सिटीजन्स की इस राइट को डिनाई कर सकती है? Finally, what kind of a form of government is democracy? Can elected rulers do whatever they want in a democracy? Or must a democratic government function with some limits? Is it necessary for a democracy to respect some rights of the citizen? Let us consider each of these questions with the help of some examples. जो लास्ट का क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है, What kind of a form of government is democracy? अगर हम कहते हैं कि ये फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट डेमोक्रेसी है तो आपको उसे डिफाइन करना होगा। क्या ऐसा है कि इसमें रूलर्स को अपनी मनमानी करने की आज़ादी है? क्या ऐसा है कि डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट के जो फंक्शंस हैं वो किसी लिमिटेड रेंज तक ही सीमित हैं? या इज़ इट नेसेसरी फॉर डेमोक्रेसी टू रिस्पेक्ट सम राइट्स ऑफ द सिटीजन्स? राइट्स तो डेमोक्रेसी ही दे रही है सिटीजन्स को, तो क्या डेमोक्रेसी उन्हें रिस्पेक्ट करती हैं? We'll consider certain examples to understand all these questions we have read now. Major decisions by elected leaders. In Pakistan, General Parvez Musharraf led a military coup in October 1999. He overthrew a democratically elected government and declared himself the chief executive of the country. जिस समय परवेज़ मुशर्रफ जो मिलिट्री कूप के हेड थे अक्टूबर 1999 में, उन्होंने मोहम्मद रफ़ीक तरार को हटाकर अपने आप को पाकिस्तान का चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव डिक्लेयर कर दिया और बाद में डेजिग्नेशन चेंज किया प्रेसिडेंट के नाम से। 2001 से 2008 तक परवेज़ मुशर्रफ ने पाकिस्तान पे रूल किया। In 2002, he held a referendum in the country that granted him a 5-year extension. Referendum is a kind of vote which is given by the people giving their decision direct. And according to this, people gave him an extension to rule over them for more 5 years. Pakistani media, human rights organization and democracy activities said, वहाँ की पाकिस्तानी मीडिया, ह्यूमन राइट्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो बनी हुई थी और जो डेमोक्रेसी एक्टिविटीज़ थी, उन सब ने कहा दैट द रेफरेंडम वाज बेस्ड ऑन मैल प्रैक्टिसेस एंड फ्रॉड। इनके अकॉर्डिंग जो रेफरेंडम था वो बेस्ड था मैल प्रैक्टिसेस और फ्रॉड पे। फ्रॉड जो वर्ड है दैट मीन्स चीटिंग, and malpractices is again a illegal way of doing certain activities. In August 2002, he issued a legal framework order that amended the Constitution of Pakistan. 2002, he issued a legal framework order. That means there certain changes were made in the Constitution of Pakistan. According to this new order, the president can dismiss the national and provincial assemblies. National assemblies, you can understand, it is regarding the nation. And provincial means that certain provinces which are being made within the country, those who have local power to take decision of their own. The work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by a National Security Council, which is dominated by military officers. Now, the council was made, but it was still dominated by military officers. After passing this law, elections were held to the national and provisional assemblies. So, Pakistan has had elections, elected representatives have some powers, but the final power rested with military officers and General Musharraf himself. आप इसे समझ सकते हो कि जो काउंसिल बनी थी या जो नेशनल और प्रोविजनल असेंबलीज लेवल पे जो इलेक्शंस हुए थे उसमें जो लोग इलेक्ट होके आए दे हैड सम पावर्स बट अल्टीमेटली द पावर वाज इन द हैंड ऑफ मिलिट्री ऑफिसर्स and the final decision was in the hand of General Musharraf himself. Clearly, there are many reasons why Pakistan under General Musharraf should not be called a democracy. But let us focus on one of these. Can we say that the rulers are elected by the people in Pakistan? Not quite. People may have elected their representatives to the national and provisional assemblies, but those elected representatives were not really the rulers. They cannot take the final decisions. The power to take final decision rested with army officials and with General Musharraf, and none of them were elected by the people. This happens in many dictatorships and monarchies. They formally have an elected parliament and government, but the real power is with those who are not elected. In a few countries, the real power was with some external powers and not with locally elected representatives. This cannot be called people's rule. This gives us the first feature, that is, in a democracy, the final decision making power must rest with those elected by the people. हमने जो ये फैक्ट पढ़े पाकिस्तान के बारे में, इससे क्लियर हुआ कि वहाँ के जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स इलेक्ट होते थे नेशनल एंड प्रोविजनल असेंबलीज लेवल पे, दे हैड वेरी फ्यू पावर्स and they had no right to take any kind of final decision. Ultimately, सारा पावर आर्मी ऑफिशियल्स और जनरल मुशर्रफ के हाथ में ही था. ये एक तरह की डिक्टेटरशिप थी जहाँ पे सिर्फ एक इंसान की बात सुनी जाती है, कही जाती है, मानी जाती है. दे फॉर्मली यानी सिर्फ एक फॉर्मेलिटी थी इलेक्शंस करना या इलेक्टेड पार्लियामेंट्स फॉर्म करना या गवर्नमेंट शो करना कि हमने कुछ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स इलेक्ट किए हैं, पार्लियामेंट फॉर्म हुई है. बट द रियल पावर इज़ विद दोज हु आर नॉट इलेक्टेड, यानी जो आर्मी ऑफिशल्स जो इलेक्टेड नहीं थे बाय द पीपल हैड द पावर was with some external powers and not with locally elected representatives. That means these are the external powers. The military officials, they had all power, but the representatives who were elected had no power. This cannot be called people's rule. So here, the first feature of our democracy is being justified. And the question that came up, in a democracy, the final decision-making power must rest with those elected by the people. Is this really followed in every democratic type of government? I'll end up today with this, and I would like that you please go through the video and try to recall these particular topics. Till then, we'll be back with our next heading, that is free and fair electoral competition, the second feature to be discussed about the democracy. Till then, take care. Bye.